So here I am, I'm a finance major, and I was 19. I just happened to go to the mall one day after class. I didn't have any money, so I shouldn't have even been there, but I'm at the mall, and I walk by a store, and there's a pair of jeans hanging in the window. And I know this sounds so silly, but there was just something about these jeans that when I saw them, I thought, I have to have those. And I didn't have any money to buy them. They were 99 bucks. And so I thought, what is something I can do to make this money, buy the jeans, and be done with it? And the first idea that came to mind was, I'll clean someone's house. So I put an ad on Craigslist to clean a house. I charged exactly the price of the jeans. A woman responded pretty quickly and said, I really need help. She had a 4,000 square foot house, and she was my first client. And so that's how it all really began. And I would say that it wasn't until later on in my journey as an entrepreneur that I really began to fall in love with what I was doing and realize that there was a bigger purpose and it wasn't just all about cleaning. My name is Kristen Hadid, and I am the founder of Student Made. And what we do is we clean houses, but what we really do is we empower our students with the skills that they really need to be successful in life.
I think I really like the independence that it provides me. I kind of like working on my own and not really having a boss tell me what to do all the time. I like to be able to kind of act on instinct.
My favorite thing, I guess, about Student Made is that everybody here is just like my friend, you know? That I don't have to search for a social life outside of Student Made, you know, because I'm meeting people every single day. Being a training ambassador for Student Made, I'm constantly working with brand new faces all the time.
I definitely really like the people I get to work with. The job is hard, but doing it with people that you like, it makes it just a lot easier and just a lot more comfortable.
So I'm not someone who came out of the womb thinking I would be an entrepreneur. I think if you ask my parents, they knew that I was destined to be a CEO one day. I always had these little businesses as a kid, but I never thought that I wanted to own a business.
She really loved cash registers. That was one of her favorite toys as a child. She just loved to play store. And then when my husband and I would buy her toys, her and her sister, they just tended to like the box that the toy was in, and they become creative and use their imagination and use the box versus the toy. So, wish we'd done that earlier in the days before we had these massive Christmases. But Kristen was very adventurous. She was a real go-getter, had really boundless energy, and she actually showed entrepreneurial tendencies as a young child. She set up lemonade stands. She did like she was selling fingernails actually at school and had a line going towards that. And then her dad had helped her and her sister build a lemonade stand, so they expanded the lemonade stand to other objects, and she's just always had more energy than I can keep up with as mom.
Hi, I'm Eddie Gilley. I'm the Baptist Collegiate Ministries Director here at the University of Florida, and we have used Student Made for, I don't know, 7, 8, 6 years. I'm not sure exactly how long it's been, but it's been a long time. And we really appreciate the way that they do their job. The fact they employ students and that it gives students something to do as a way to make money and to be a part of a business is very satisfying to us.
And we've been using the services of the Student Maids for several years now, ever since we found out about them, because we respect young folks working their way through school, which is what we did.
So I cleaned for the person who responded to my Craigslist ad. She was my first client, and then she told her friends about me, and they told their friends about me, and so it was very organic the way that it grew. And I never thought this would be my career. I just thought it was a way to make money before I moved on after college and started my life somewhere else. And right before my senior year, I got a contract to clean hundreds of empty apartments. And it was a really big contract. We had something like 800 apartments to clean. We only had 21 days to do the work. And at the time, it was just me, and I had hired a couple of people to help me, but there was no way we could do all of this work by ourselves. So I hired a team of students to help me with the contract, 60 people. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no leadership experience, no real business experience. And so it was a disaster. And there was this really defining day when 45 of the 60 people that I quit walked out on me. And they walked out at the same time. And I'm still not really sure exactly why, but I think it's because the work was not really fun and I was not a good leader. And so those things mixed together, no one wanted to work with me.
She's always willing to accept that she's going to fail in things, but understanding that like that was a huge failure in her life, like learning from it and making sure, just like we say within Student Made, like every person has room to fail, and we have room to fail as long as we learn from it. And so it's like, someone asked her recently, what's the difference between a failure and a mistake? A mistake is like doing something and not learning from it, or a mistake is doing something and learning from it, whereas a failure would just mean like you just keep doing it and you're not learning anything from it. So I think the 45 really sparked her to really think about how we can change failures into something that's always a learning opportunity. So
I think it really just was a moment of, it was clarity, but also maybe a little bit of embarrassment. It's like, that's a really intense thing to have happen to you. And I think Kristen's the kind of person that if something that big happens to you and that many people tell you that you're wrong, she was very motivated to make it up to those people and make it right.
I remember how upset she was, but I don't really remember that as much as how she problem solved it, how she became strong, overcame the obstacle, got resilient, and made it a win-win for everybody. And because she did it, I think, in such an incredible way for such a young lady, I mean, most adults my age, I don't think could have problem solved something of that magnitude, to everybody walk out on you and you have this huge contract to fulfill. But she just, I think the key to her success is she doesn't view it from her perspective. She looked in the eyes of the employees that she hired, and she had to figure out a way to motivate them and make them feel valued, and she's followed that motto today, and that's why she's so successful.
And it was that moment when I look back that I realized that's when I became obsessed with leadership and with learning how to build a company where people really, really wanted to be. And I was able to get those people back by apologizing and admitting that I didn't know what I was doing. And it was that summer that really changed everything. I ended up turning down a job in finance after that because I fell in love with what I was doing. But it was also the first sign that this would be a really hard journey ahead. And, you know, cleaning is not fun. So to build a company where people are excited to clean and they feel valued while they're cleaning, it's a really hard thing. And so that was the first of many, many mistakes and failures, and I still fail every single day.
Kristen is an inspiration, man, in so many ways. In my daily life, to always be pushing forward, to think about personally what I want for my life and my personal goals. The awesome thing about working with Kristen and on our team is that just because we have like our company goals and Kristen's vision doesn't mean that our personal goals can't be incorporated into that. So I never lose sight of the things that I want to personally do as well, even within our company. So I have my own blog, which she pushes me. She asks me like when I'm going to post again on it, and just asks us like really frequently what we want to be doing in our lives. So I think Kristen is an inspiration to just always be pushing forward and reaching for more.
So when I was in school, I remember all my friends talking about success was the amount of money that you made. And that is not how I define success today. And what I've learned for me is that it's about impacting people's lives. And when our students are working with us, we have this chance to really teach them the skills they need to be successful after they leave us. And we have a chance to really help them achieve the dreams and the goals that they have set for themselves. And so to me, I measure success by the way people learn and grow. And, you know, it's what is a transformation from when they walk in our doors until they walk out when they graduate, and what are they able to do because they had a job at Student Made. And that to me is why I wake up every single day excited to come to work. If I could go back and talk to myself at the beginning of my journey, I know this probably sounds cliche, but I would say, you know, it's okay to make mistakes. And I wouldn't prevent myself from making those mistakes that I made because they were such powerful lessons. And I look at the lessons I've learned in my life. You know, I've definitely learned how to make people feel valued. But how did I learn that? By making them feel the opposite. And I've learned the importance of relationships and how, you know, we really have to have deep and meaningful relationships with the people in our lives. But how did I learn that? Because the relationships I had were superficial. And I've learned to empower people and what that can do and the you know, how it makes people feel. But how did I learn that? Well, I used to micromanage people. So I wouldn't take away those mistakes because they're what taught me the lessons that I think were most important, not just in my business, but in my life. And I think it isn't a failure if you can take one nugget away from it and learn something and do it differently the next time around. I think that's growing, and I wouldn't call that failing.